that is fucking amazing. Like, people don't realize how fucking amazing that is, and they need to fucking understand that.
So the big question is, what are top agents doing to absolutely crush it in real estate, grow their teams and add more transactions year over year while so many struggle? To get the answers, we interview top real estate agents to learn their secrets to success. Listen, we believe every agent should make a minimum of $100,000 per year, and we're on a mission to make this happen. We've already helped over 100 agents achieve this with our coaching. So if you want to fast track your business growth, get to your first $100,000 in GCI or add another $100,000 in GCI using social strategies, then head over to go.eliteagentsecrets.com, or you can just click the link in the description below. Also, just make sure to follow us, hit that subscribe button, and if you get any value from this at all, please tell a friend and leave us a review. My name is Andrew Dunn.
And my name is Peter Michael. Welcome to Elite Agent Secrets.
I want to roll into your third topic, which is CAC, kind of in line with LTV. And for those listening, CAC is customer acquisition cost or client acquisition cost, whichever you want. And then LTV is lifetime value. This is pretty much the most important metric in your business. For anyone running paid marketing in any way, shape or form, whether it's a billboard, anything you pay for, right? Whether it's cups of coffee, whether you're taking people out on dinner dates to try and get their business, that all goes towards it. So, Eric, break down CAC and LTV for us.
Okay, this is my favorite topic right now. I'm actually going to be making a YouTube video on this in the next few days.
Oh, we're getting this hot off the press. Let's go.
So this is something that I think people horribly misunderstand or don't understand or have never had exposure to, but is like you said, the most important metric in your business. And real estate agents sorry for anyone out there, but like to somehow think their business is different than other businesses. And they don't look at these traditional kind of models for actually valuing their business in the right way. So yeah, like you said, CAC to LTV is a term that's often looked at by investors looking to invest in a company. How much does it cost for you to acquire a client versus what is the lifetime value of that client? And so in real estate, what I think a lot of agents don't understand is that the lifetime value is actually massive. Meaning, first you need to figure out your lifetime value of a client. So like if you get on a client, say your average commission is $10K with one client, and then the average client does one additional transaction with you, right, over the course of their life. So they buy with you, then they sell with you 5 years later. Maybe that's the end of your relationship. Great. So that's $20,000 in lifetime value. But if they refer you, on average, each client refers you half a client in their life. That's an additional $5,000. And then that person does another client. That's another $5,000. So let's just say one client is worth lifetime value $30,000, which I think is very conservative. Like realistically, in a lot of markets, the commission's higher at like 15 to 20K. You'll get 2 or 3 referrals out of people. You'll get 2 or 3 repeats. Like I just think the lifetime value is actually a lot higher, but I'm just going to use conservative numbers for the point of this example. So let's say your lifetime value of a customer on average is 30K. How much does it cost for you to acquire a client? Well, I know these numbers because I do this every day like you guys. I would say the average cost per acquisition with online marketing, if you do it right, is probably about $1,000 to acquire a client. Now the math works out for us to this. So you generate $10 leads at a 1% conversion rate. So you generate 100 leads for $1,000 and you convert one of them. That's conservative again. Then that's $1,000 to acquire a client. So if you know that number, which we do, it's generally $500 to $1,500. I don't know if you guys experience the same. So if you know that number and you know your lifetime value, you can shake down that you have 30 to 1 CAC to LTV. So you have 30,000 lifetime value and 1,000 customer acquisition cost. So that is fucking amazing. Like people don't realize how fucking amazing that is. And they need to fucking understand that. Like 30 to 1 will have investors lining up at the door. Like at the agency I used to work for, we were like 16 to 1. We weren't really because they miscalculated their churn. I won't get into that. But basically when investors were looking at it, it was like a 16 or 17 to 1. And that was amazing. We didn't have problems getting investments because the investors say, wow, you're investing this amount and you're getting a 17x return at the lifetime value and your churn rate's incredibly low. Take my money, right? Like, and so real estate agents don't understand that really their lifetime value is often 30 to 60 to 1. And you have to understand that to feel comfortable investing in your client acquisition. Now, in order to do client acquisition right, you just need the right company, guidance, mentor toolkit, blueprint, whatever you want to call it, but understand that as a real estate agent, your lifetime value of a customer in accordance to your acquisition cost is like absolutely massive.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons that we actually love the niche of real estate. It's for this exact reason. It's that normal business, 3-to-1 is what they aim. A lot of businesses are 2-to-1. 3-to-1 is like a golden child. Okay, like if you can put $100 in, $1,000 in to a business, you get 3,000 out. Like you got a solid business. With real estate, like you said, it's way more than 10x. It's like way more. But even if you're saying it's 10-to-1, you mentioned Alex Hormozi earlier. He grew a huge company and his was 35-to-1. And he's scaled to, high 8 figures off $1 million in spending a single year. And his was a coaching business as well, but like mental profit, like mental, like you can't even find how much money that is. Like you put in $1,000 and get out 20, 30, 40,000 in real estate. Now, yeah, you're going to have, if you want to scale this, which is like the next step, which is like, okay, you got broker splits, team splits, and that's when you start dragging time back though, right? So it might come down a little bit, but if you're still doing no one's doing less than 10-to-1. Like they're just not.
Exactly. And that's often on paid acquisition too. Like if you actually average it out with your referral business, your circle of influence and other channels, like it can just be monumental. Like you said, Alex Hormozi, they did like 80 million in sales or something with, just understanding how much they could acquire a client for through paid ads and understanding how much they were able to sell for. And just knowing those numbers is
all the biggest teams we've spoken to, leaders, brokers, people have been on this show. All the people who are heavy in advertising and marketing, which is a lot of the bigger teams as well, are big on Google, YouTube, and Facebook. A lot of them, it basically it'll vary slightly, but give or take about 50-50 between paid and referral business. Like you might have, paid marketing, whatever that looks like, and the other stuff is kind of referrals. So you essentially are either doubling, the lifetime value, or you're like halving the customer acquisition cost if you aggregate over the whole business. And it just makes the numbers silly. We had Rick on and he knew, anyone listening today, go back and listen to Rick Turley's podcast. This guy, out of everyone we've interviewed, had literally his numbers. He knew, he pulled them up as we were talking to him, and he was like, my
We're
ROI,
talking about down to the dollar and the cents.
Down to the dollar. He has a big screen in his brokerage, literally in front of everyone, that has Google, YouTube, Facebook, Sphere broken down by the dollar, the percentage ROI. And the top one was Facebook for him. And he was like, as of this very day, I've got 756% ROI on Facebook ads this month. That's my ROI. Nice. And he was like, I've made this one. And he just knew it. And again, this is another trait of top performing teams, top performing agents. They know their fucking numbers, like absolutely and categorically. Like you go, how much does it cost you to acquire a client? They'll go, yeah, like you said, somewhere between 500 and 1,500, which is still pretty good to know even a range, because when we've done a lot of stuff in luxury, it's more than 1,500. If you're trying to sell a $2 million home, it's going to be more, but your commission is huge. So it's like, it's relative, right? You break it down to the relative amounts. Different markets are slightly different. Again, like you said, Toronto, we've spoken with a bunch of people. There's 60 or 90,000 agents or something insane in like one area. So like everyone listening, you've got it easy. I think New York is 55 or 60,000. And I thought, isn't that basically the highest or one of the highest? I'm not sure how big Cali is. But then, I think we had Ryan and Ara on in there, Toronto, and they're like, we're competing with 90,000 agents or something like that. And we're like,
yeah, Ontario's crazy on the volume of agents, especially in the last couple of years, gone crazy. And that being said, I'll say this for any new agents listening. I think you're not going to know these numbers for a while, but start tracking them from day one, because all of the top teams do that. No, well, not all, but the best people do this. Basically, I did a bit of a thing one day where I just emailed a lot of my clients who I knew did this, and I asked them about their numbers, and I screenshotted that and put it on my website, because I was like, "What's your ROI like?" And they kind of gave me numbers like, "Oh, it was like 365,000 GCI so far this year," and I'm like, "Yeah, you didn't say 300 or 350, you said 365." like you're tracking properly, and they're like, yeah, it's about a 7-to-1 ROI, kind of similar.
Amazing.
Including ISA, ad spend, all this stuff. And like, knowing those numbers, tracking those numbers from the beginning is important. And like, some people might be listening and say like, well, I don't have $1,000 to spend on acquiring a client, especially when the lag time of getting that lifetime value is, can be 10 plus years, or at least a few months for your first sale. We understand that, right? It's just important to track these things from the beginning.
From day one. So Eric, this has been amazing. Now, I know we've touched on a few different things about you and what you're doing. So I want to give you the floor. If someone wants to learn from you, get coached, use some of your service, wants to get in touch, whether it's phone, email, socials, you got your programs. I know you've got Agent Launch, which is awesome. Tell people how they can check you out, how they can get in touch, how they can learn from you and what you've got going on.
Yeah, sounds good. So there's two things we're basically focused on these days is, one is Agent Launch. That's our marketing consulting agency. So basically, if you want to check out Agent Launch, you can just go to agentlaunch.com, click on Get a Price, and you can apply to work with us. That'll give you an opportunity, if you're a good fit, to book an intro call where we can tell you a bit more about what we do. Basically, I'll give you the Coles notes, though. We help people build client acquisition machines and systems that they own. That's what we do these days. We have a couple different tiers to what we offer. One's very like involved in events, and one's a little more, lower ticket, and some of it's do it yourself, and the other one's a lot more done for you, done with you at a higher ticket. So that's an option with Agent Launch. The second is obviously I'm with EXP, and we've created something called the Collaborative Movement, where I've partnered with some really amazing people. So you can check out collaborativemovement.com. That's the way we can partner together through the EXP model. We have a lot of coaching and mentorship incentives with doing so. So if you go there, you can apply, and we can book a call and get on a call and chat. But those are kind of my two main focuses, and I've been able to integrate them well together. And as always, just check out my YouTube channel. You can probably find all the information on there anyway. So on how to get in touch with me and everything. So yeah.
You got to shout out your YouTube channel. Everyone check out Eric B. Preston on YouTube. Eric, thanks for coming on the show. Love chatting. Love you breaking down some of this more modern strategies. This is what we love. This is our future. This is the future that we totally and fundamentally believe in too. So everyone, we hope you've enjoyed listening to this episode. Eric, thank you again for coming on, and we will see you all in the next one. Oh, and by the way, if you're interested in gaining access to our course and coaching programs 100% for free, then head over to go.eliteagentsecrets.com.